Good morning to everyone. It's my pleasure to have you all here. We are ready to start with this information day. Dear Mrs. Fellner, dear Professor Stauffer, dear guests, representatives of research organizations, universities, NGOs, and the business. My name is Milena Damjanova, and I serve as a director of the Science Directorate in the Ministry of Education and Science. That is the support measure partner responsible for the implementation of the call of multilateral academic projects, so-called MAPS component. It's my pleasure to welcome you today to this information day dedicated to the launch of the MAPS component. Bulgaria, together with Croatia, Romania, Poland, and Hungary, are the eligible partners for this cooperation with Switzerland. The aim of the Swiss program is to strengthen research in these countries, as well as the collaboration with researchers in Switzerland. MAPS, as a multilateral initiative, is expected to promote knowledge circulation by providing cross-border collaboration opportunities with Bulgaria. The instrument's aims at increasing the competitiveness of the European research area and responds to the scientific community demands for more international integration and cooperation. Bulgaria is proud to participate in all three funding instruments offered by the Swiss National Science Foundation as a part of the second Swiss contribution, PROMYS, that has been already closed, the current MAPS, and the forthcoming SCIEX. After today's information day, I believe that many of you would be motivated to apply for this call, finding partners and working on collaborative multilateral research projects. This is also part of the mission of the Science Directorate in the Ministry of Education and Science, namely to find good and useful opportunities for Bulgarian stakeholders to benefit from different international research programs and calls for projects proposal. The active participation of as many of you as possible, I believe, would be a guarantee for success both to your organizations and to the science in Bulgaria as a whole. With the aim to provide you useful and profound information today, here with us is Mrs. Isabel Fellner, Scientific Officer responsible for international funding in the Swiss National Science Foundation. She is going to present to you the MAPS program that will be implemented through the joint research projects. Before her presentation, I'd like to give the floor to Professor Stauffer, head of the Swiss Contribution Office in the Embassy of Switzerland in Bulgaria, for a short speech about the Swiss-Bulgarian Cooperation Program. Welcome, Professor Stauffer, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Damjanova, for your warm welcome. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm standing here before you as a representative of the Swiss government, but also, and I'd like to acknowledge this, as an alumni of the Swiss National Science Foundation. Many years ago, I had the privilege to be able to spend 1 year at the University of California at Berkeley, working on my PhD thesis, and this was a very fruitful and interesting time for me. I'd like to thank, first of all, the Science Directorate of the Ministry of Education and Science for organizing this long-awaited event. And also from my side, I'd like to welcome Mrs. Isabel Fellner, a colleague from the Swiss National Science Foundation in Bern, who will be the main speaker of this event. We meet today here in the framework of the second Swiss contribution to selected EU member states, This is a voluntary contribution of Switzerland, which aims at supporting the economic and social development in Europe. In Bulgaria, Switzerland, through the Swiss-Bulgarian Cooperation Program, supports and encourages the bilateral relations between our two countries with more than 90 million Swiss francs, and 10 million of them have been set aside for the Swiss-Bulgarian Research Program. This research program, which is an important part of our bilateral cooperation, builds on the scientific cooperation under the preceding first enlargement contribution, as well as on other initiatives like the InSight and the Center for Advanced Studies in Sofia. Not you perhaps, but other Bulgarians might ask, why would Bulgaria want to cooperate with Switzerland on research? First of all, Switzerland holds a leading position in many rankings when it comes to research and innovation. This is based, among others, on the principles of freedom of research, a bottom-up approach, which gives a lot of autonomy to institution and individual researchers. Last but not least, excellence is the main funding criteria. Second, and I'd like to underline this, research and education are important contributing factors to prosperity and social stability. It is therefore not astonishing that Switzerland has set aside almost 10% of its overall second Swiss contribution to research programs in 6 countries, namely Croatia, Bulgaria, Romania, Poland, Hungary, and the Czech Republic. However, Bulgaria, as the only country among those 6, has selected all 3 instruments which have been offered by Switzerland, namely the PROMYS for the promotion of young scientists, SCIEX, scientific exchange, and Multilateral Academic Projects, MAPS, joint research project. We are very happy about this because through the availability of all 3 instruments, the whole sequence of developing a scientific career is covered by the Swiss-Bulgarian Research Program. As for the MAPS program, after almost 2 years of intensive work between primarily the Swiss National Science Foundation and the Bulgarian Ministry of Education, but also by the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, which is the funding agency, the call for research proposals is open now. In many ways, MAPS is an excellent example for the Swiss contribution in general and our research cooperation in particular. We want to promote and nurture real partnerships, and through MAPS, not only will individual researchers present joint projects, but enduring institutional partnerships will hopefully be created. Being open to all research areas, allowing both for basic research and youth-inspired basic research, the Swiss and Bulgarian taxpayer gives the freedom to researchers to define which fundamental questions merit to be answered. With this freedom comes responsibility to strive for excellence in the research process and in the results. To get a research grant, despite the administrative processes and the peer reviews, is a precious gift, and I call you here today to prove yourself worthy of it. I will stop here. After this philosophical digression, I will stop here, as now comes the part in which you are really interested in, knowing more about the opportunities provided by this MES program for supporting your quest to expand knowledge in your field of expertise. Благодаря и